What's up, everyone? Today I'm going to be painting my winter wheels. When my car was gray, the gray gunmetal wheels look kind of cool, but I want to change them up a little bit. I have nice black accents now that the car is wrapped, and I want to make the wheels now glossy black. So today we're gonna do that up, and I'm going to show you guys what I use. Essentially what I do is I use old business cards to go around the rim, and I basically just paint the wheel right on the tire. So not on the tire. I don't remove the tire to paint the wheels. The whole key about painting wheels is what my buddy taught me. My buddy Dan, who's a good friend of mine, is that you need to take your time with wheels. You can't rush it because you're gonna have runs. So essentially what I like to do is I like to do one wheel at a time. So take one wheel off, let it dry up, and then do it up. So that way it's always I can ensure that I have nice even coats, at least 3 coats of gloss paint, and they turn out really nice, and they last out the winter. So I think the black is going to look a little bit more classier than the gray. And thing with black wheels as well, whenever you're rocking black wheels, because it's a black wheel usually on a black tire, it makes the eye feel that the wheels are a lot bigger than they normally are. So usually if you're running 17s that are black, when you're looking at the car from the side and stuff like that, it appears to the eye that you're actually running 18s. So that's also a thing that makes basically your black wheels look bigger on the car than they really are. So that's one of the reasons why. I mean, the stock 17s are okay, but I know with painting them black, they're going to look like they're 18. So here we go. So we took the wheel out, took it off. Very important, first thing to do is always degrease any kind of surface you're going to be painting. What I like to use is the grease and a wax remover from Duplicolor. You can buy them at Canadian Tire. So essentially I'm going to degrease it now, and then I'm going to sand it and also degrease it after I sand it. Let it dry for about 5 seconds, 10 seconds, and then it's good to go for spraying. So now that the wheels have been wiped with a degreaser, it's time to scuff them. Scuff them with like a medium or not too coarse of a block, because you don't want to have too many scratches and stuff like that. So just basically go like that. Make sure they're scuffed up, and you want to scuff them because you want the paint to stick to something. If it's super glossy, the paint's not going to stick, right? And you're going to have fish eyes and stuff like that. Keep in mind, these are winter wheels. You don't want to do something super extravagant, but at the same time, you don't want to paint it, and you want the paint to run and stuff like that, because you do want those wheels to look somewhat decent. So try scuffing them up like that is a good idea. Essentially, wherever you see a smooth spot, make sure it's got a little bit of a scuff on it, going between the spokes. This is a multi-spoke Lexus design, so obviously there's a lot of gouges and stuff like that, but usually the sanding blocks are super cool for this, because as you can see, they can go in between and allow you to sand and stuff like that. And you're going to see the difference. You're going to see the difference when you spray the paint on the actual wheel. You're going to see how it adheres to the areas that are gougy, whereas the areas that are super smooth, it's just going to run down, and you're going to have runs. So you want to scuff it up as best as possible. Take a little bit of time on it, and the results are going to speak for itself. So now that you've scuffed them, we're going to hit them up with a degreaser as well, to get rid of all the powder. So basically degrease the wheel. Even though they're going to appear smooth, obviously there is gouges, and those gouges are going to allow the paint to stick. So you want to degrease, make sure the surface is nice and ready to go. That way the paint will adhere. And obviously make sure that the cloth you're using is a fresh cloth, so you don't have any grease on the cloth itself, because what you've just sanded and degreased would be pointless if you're using a cloth, obviously, that has like crap on it and like that. So there you go. The wheel is prepped, ready to be sprayed with very fine mists of spray paint. So as you can see, this is where the business cards came in handy. So what I essentially do is I put the business cards all around the rim to cover up the tire. That way, if you're spraying with like a white color, or when I was painting these before with gunmetal metallic as this one, and actually this wheel was painted before last year. That's what happens when you take your time. It's nice and shiny. Essentially putting the business cards all around like that will prevent you from overspraying your tire, especially if you're painting a different color. Now I'm painting my wheels black. It doesn't really matter. Same with a tire cap as well. I mean, it's black, so the black paint will just paint over it, so it's really not a big deal in this particular case. But it makes it a lot easier if you're painting without removing the tire. The easiest trick to do is just put the business cards around the wheel, and that way you don't have to worry about getting the tire. As well, another thing a lot of people miss is shaking the actual paint can. It's very important to shake it for at least a couple minutes. What that will do is it'll roll around the ball inside. It will make the paint a lot more consistent. It'll come out a lot better, and it'll give you a nicer, even coat. And the whole key to painting wheels is taking your time and doing it gently. You know, if it takes an hour or 2 hours to do one wheel, who cares? The results are going to speak for itself, and once you do it right, it's going to last for a good 3-4 seasons easily without the paint chipping and without the paint coming off, which is the whole idea behind it, doing it right and doing it once. So always make sure you shake the paint. That's really the key. Shake, spray, shake, spray, shake, spray. There you go, first coat of paint is on. It's a very, very gentle coat. We'll probably do about 4 or 5 of these coats. As you can see, very, very gently on. Not a lot of runs. Letting the paint just settle out nicely. No fish eyes, nothing like that. Just a nice, gentle coat. We're going to wait maybe about 5 minutes and do another coat on top of that. So I've just applied a second coat on the wheel. As you can see, it's already starting to turn black and stuff like that. This was about 5 minutes of waiting. I'm just about to apply actually 10 minutes of waiting, I believe. Essentially what you do in between coats, you can just stand there and shake the paint can, and that will ensure that you have really nice consistency. So if you're bored and you don't know what to do within the 5 minutes between coats or 10 minutes between coats, stand there and shake the paint. It always makes the time go by faster, and as you can already see, I'm starting to get nice gloss out of it, and this is only after the second coat. So take your time, lay it out slowly, probably maybe like 4 or 5 coats or 3-4 coats, depending how you spray, will be enough. And make sure you get all the surfaces covered and stuff like that in between the spokes. And this will make your paint really, really, really last on the wheel if you take your time, because what you're essentially doing is you're creating layers of adhesion, and that way the paint will stick to the actual wheel and the results will be a lot nicer. So I opened up the garage door. That way I can get some ventilation in here and get the paint out so it doesn't settle on the car and various things. But this is after the third coat, and as you can see, it already has the gloss on it. So I'm pretty much going to leave it for this wheel, and I'm going to start working on the other wheels. And essentially the process is a repeat of this going on the other wheels. So hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. If you have any questions, leave comments below.